I feel like I'm on the ball today. I even felt exempted from the law today. It's like this revelation dawned on me. It's so amazing, helps support the cause. I get everyone involved. I feel like I'm on the ball today. I even felt exempted from the law today. It's like this revelation dawned on me. It's so amazing, helps support the cause. I get everyone involved.
I love that song.
It makes
Good
you
morning.
just want to move.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to another fabulous Wednesday in South Florida.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Shay, how you doing?
Good.
Nice. Shay, do you know what day it is?
It might be.
Uh-oh. Guess what day it is? Guess what day it is? Huh? Anybody? Julie, hey, guess what day it is? Oh, come on, I know you can hear me. Mike. What day is it, Mike? Leslie, guess what today is?
It's hump day.
Woo-hoo!
Oh, that never gets old, right?
Never gets old. I'm going to do it every time I'm on Wednesday. Welcome to the show. Give us a Lori update.
Oh gosh, let's see. Was in Washington D.C. last week for a few days, which I love being in Washington. And I have to say, I have been feeling very disgusted, I guess you could say, and disappointed in politics, right? So I haven't been feeling much pride in our country. But when you go to Washington and you see these monuments and the history, it's quite amazing, and it makes you feel proud. And then, of course, suffered through the Dolphins game on Monday night. But
Yeah, we did
But
some.
you did have a birthday.
oh, that's right, I forgot about that. I did have a birthday on Sunday.
You had a
Thank
birthday,
you,
and
Shay.
Shay, what do we do when it's someone's birthday?
Well, it depends on who it is, but I guess we could do a little something.
I love that you guys mouth moving. Yes, it was a wonderful birthday too. So all good.
Very nice. So there are parts of the country that are not doing so well,
Oh,
unfortunately, with the floods and stuff like that. I
yeah.
heard a stat yesterday that I thought was worth sharing here. Scientists said there were 40 trillion gallons that were dumped over the southeast in that short period of time, just from that storm. Just to give you some scope, that would fill the Dallas Cowboys Stadium 51 times.
Wow.
So you want to know what people are dealing with?
Yeah.
Jake's friend in Tampa, house closed, everything all done, all redo. So it's hard to stay focused on good things, but there are good things to be focusing on.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think the highest death toll since in a very, very long time with storm. But so yeah, there's been some devastation.
It's kind of crazy when we wake up and it's sunny and we haven't had any of that.
Right.
And
And so it's easy to forget what's going on when it's so sunny and beautiful here, right? So
But on the positive side of things, they came out with a list, the 20 best cities for small businesses to start and flourish. And certainly this is right up your alley, Lori, with who
yeah.
your constituents are and who you serve and what value proposition. So would you know Fort Lauderdale's number 7, Miami is number 2, and
Yeah.
basically the list 14 of the top 20 are in the Southeast.
Yeah, and if you look, I mean, Tampa, Orlando, also in the top, right, 7 or 8. There's a big push around small business, especially people of color, women. And listen, I'm not surprised by this. It is an indication of how, especially our younger generation, want to be entrepreneurs. They want to start their own businesses. They don't want to go work for somebody else.
That's really cool because we're going to talk today. I always love to bring leadership content when you're on, and we have a great Adam Grant conversation about what is the best leadership style. We'll get to that, but first, as we always do, we got to wake this thing up.
Wake up, everybody! Get up! Get up! Get up! Get up!
Wake up. Come on. Come on.
Wake up, everybody! Teach a new way. Maybe this and this.
What you have to say.
Wake up, everybody! No more sleeping in bed. No more doctor thinking.
Thinking ahead. Come on.
So, I'm not sure what happened there, Lori. Okay. Dark screen. You never know. Couple of shout outs before we get going. Shout out to the Gold Barbs who are now back in full gear. Shout out to Mike Ficara. Congratulations, because he just launched his own cigar brand. I am awaiting those sticks to come. And then Mike will do a pop in. Good morning, Hector. Good morning, Melissa. Becky, great catching up with you yesterday. Corey Gill. Corey is doing an unbelievable job working with us. It's been super fun. And he will make his Huddle debut on Monday. It'll be me and Corey jumping in the seat. So cool stuff. So we start every day with daily affirmation. I can't stress this enough that with all of the things going on in the world, all of the things that you talked about, that could be distracting, put your mind on focus and focus on good stuff. Shay, show me today's daily affirmation.
Mary, the older you get, oh, how appropriate for my birthday, the more you figure out who your real friends are. It's not always about who you've known the longest. It's about who makes you feel seen, heard, and understood, appreciated, respected, supported, and loved.
So this was a
Boom.
very interesting one for me because I have friends that I've been friendly with for 30 years who are no longer in my inner circle, and making that decision, I think, is a tough one. But anybody who's successful will tell you that they've made those choices. And then some of the people who have recently got in my circle, all of a sudden, man, there's some commonality that you can't produce, you can't bake it. So I think this goes to people who are in business too. I think a lot of people are trying to force relationships. When you feel seen, heard, and all of those things in business, that generally bodes well for a good business relationship. You're out trying to do all the things for JA, raising money. Sometimes it's just not a fit, and that's okay. Not everyone is going to be that. So that affirmation, I think, rings very true. Thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, listen, you know that saying, right? There's a reason, a season, or a lifetime, right?
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah.
I think there are times where there are people in our lives for a reason. There are other times when it's for a season. And then there's other times when it's for life. So
And Lori
why? Because there was a
keeps
call coming.
jumping.
I think as we grow, the people we want to be around and the people we want to different, right? Those commonalities change. So, and that's the season, right?
Yeah, Becky hits it right. The biggest and nicest surprise is finding new, meaningful
I can't
relationships
hear you.
in your adult life. For me, you meet people, you kind of figure out who they are and where to put them. But I read something the other day that said
Can you?
sometimes when people are not in your life, they're on their own journey. They're not doing it on purpose. They're just not in your life because they're focused on their own stuff. All right, Lori, are you with us, or is there a
I
technical?
lost you. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yes.
I can't hear you.
Okay. So what do you want to do here? We got to fix this or move on.
Is that better?
I can hear you.
No,
So
I can't hear you.
okay.
Let me go out
Um,
and come back in.
okay. So I'm going to move on. Shay, thank you for joining. While we have a little bit of a break, talk to us about baseball, man. Yesterday, the playoffs were, for me, super fun watching the Mets win the first one in Milwaukee.
Yeah, there was some. So for all the Detroit people, Detroit kind of came to play. Well, the Mr. Screwball, who won the Triple Crown for the first time since Justin Verlander in the American League, kind of was dealing against the Astros and gave them a little something something. So
Yeah,
yeah,
man,
it's
I
good,
love
good baseball, playoff
it's
baseball,
really
like playoff hockey, basketball. It's good.
Sorry
it
about
really
that.
is good. And Helen said to me, she goes, "Are you gonna watch this whole game?" And I go, "Yeah." She's like, so anyway, moving on. Thank you. You can hear us, and we can hear
Now
you.
I hear you. I jumped out and jumped back in.
Great. So people know that I'm a voracious reader. I'm constantly articles and people coming in my inbox. I shared with somebody the other day what my morning reads are like, which I think makes me, alert and aware and makes me more interesting. I love to be interested, but Adam Grant is one of those guys I really like to watch. He posted something or wrote an article, said, "What is the best leadership style?" And there was 100 studies done, and he gives the exact answer. And what do you think the answer is? I know you've had a chance to read it,
Well,
but
I read it. So, yeah, I think he talks about freedom. I call that I call what he said empowerment,
okay. He
right?
calls it autonomy.
Right.
Successful leaders respect autonomy. I want to break this down. So, what did you take away from it?
I mean, basically, I took away that people don't want to be micromanaged, right?
Yeah.
But it's so interesting because if you remember a few months ago when we did a topic on Gen Zs, there was, I think, about 30% of Gen Zs who do want to be micromanaged because they're early in their careers and they really don't know what they're doing. But I think overall, people do not want to be micromanaged. They want to know what you want them to do, and then they want to go do it, right? How they're going to do it, how they're going to get to the final point. The the challenge with that, of course, is accountability.
So what he puts in here, autonomy is the secret sauce of all great leadership. We found that consistently connecting people to their why of their actions, providing choices on how to get things done, and giving meaningful feedback. Mark's post this morning is about feedback loop.
Yes,
So I think people want to be part of something. They want to feel the word community or tribe. They want to do that. They want to be managed. They don't want to be micromanaged. And
correct.
I don't know anybody who would because, and Mike Ficara puts it right. They want structure and guidance, which is process, process, process. I know you are constantly reinvesting and relooking and upskilling your people. There's a sense of like, wow, I belong here because of that kind of stuff. So I love this conversation. I don't know if you have anything more
Yeah,
to
yeah.
add.
I just want to add, he also talked about this not just in leadership, but he also talked about it as parents,
Good for you.
right?
That's where I was going to go.
That nobody wants to be controlled, not even our children, right? So, how can we have those guardrails, like you said, the guidance and the support without, right, making them feel like they're totally controlled? Because then they're just going to rebel and, right? And so, I think it's really interesting. Listen, I have always thought that parenting and leadership are very similar in some ways.
Well, I think the biggest thing is nobody teaches you how to do either one. So
Exactly.
it's like all of a sudden you're like, wow, I'm a parent. And you do your best based on all of your experiences and everything that's happened in your life. But the reality is, there is no one way to do it. You,
Right.
you try and do your best. I have found that by asking one question, and people know that I'm all about questions, what can I do to help you get to your goal? That part, that question opens up dialogue and it changes the I'm talking down to you, you're reporting to me. It's like, hey, and I just did this with, my Aflac folks up in Tampa. I said, they're in goal setting for first of the year, and they've already outlined the goals for their people. And I said, why don't you shift it and let them set the goals? And if it doesn't match where you want it to be, then you can help them get to the goal you want.
Yeah, we do
And
it
so it's
together.
ownership. Yeah.
Yep. We have our whole team is involved in strategic planning. But I want to make one point because you talked about leadership and parenting, and that there's no book, right? There's no instruction book. Here's the one thing I always caution us about when it comes to leadership or parenting is we're never going to get it 100% correctly. We're never going to be perfect. But I think sometimes our company, our team members, right, our children expect us to get it 100% right. And I think there's some false expectations, and I think we all just need to manage those within ourselves as well as those around us, which is where vulnerability comes in, right? Talking about, hey, I don't have it 100% down, but I'm constantly open to learning and wanting to grow and evolve as a parent and as a leader.
I think if we look at Mike McDaniel, he's not standing in front of the team saying, I have all the answers. To the contrary, he's saying, this is new ground for me. I'm doing my best, but I'm
Right.
open to, hearing, listening, so vulnerability in that case, people don't expect leaders to have all the answers. They expect to be heard and all that kind of stuff. So wonderful conversation. Thank you, Adam Grant, for doing that.
Yeah.
I think the song I picked today by Eric Clapton speaks to if you're not getting better, you're pretending you're getting better. So,
Ooh.
Shay, give me Eric Clapton.
How many times must we tell the tale? How many times must we fall? Living in a lost memory you don't recall. Working on the sound of the band, trying to get the music right. I'm working, please stay home at night. It's when she said she was pretending, but she knew the plan. And I knew she was pretending, pretending to understand.
Man, I can listen to Clapton all day
I
long.
saw him in London with Cream.
I have seen Eric Clapton 4 different times. The last time was with Andy and Allison Cagnetta, and Eric Clapton didn't say one word to the crowd, which pissed me off, man. He just came out and he played, and then he looked at his band and he played again, and it was like no interaction. He just did his thing, and like even as good as the music was and still is, I was like, come on, dude. Hey, welcome to Miami,
Right.
some kind of thing. But anyway, it's funny.
Great song.
So there's a couple of people here, Melissa, Jonathan, Scott, who want to continue this dialogue. So shame on me if I don't continue it. Scott Garber asks a question, which we'll both try and answer. How do you evaluate intention versus execution when it comes to leadership?
Wow, really
So I'll
good
let you go
question.
first if you want.
I mean, intention is great. If I understand the question right, intention is great, and we can all have it. But You can have all the intention in the world, but if you can't execute, right? I don't know. To me,
So here's
execution
my
is much
answer.
more.
So here's my answer. The difference between those two is body language, tone. Sometimes you deliver the message in a way where your intention is right, but the execution, how you deliver the message, comes off as condescending, directive, not interactive. So I think for me, Scott, that's the real difference. Is great leaders learn how to deliver messages with empathy and understanding and clarity. And so it's really a communication issue, which I can tell you in 99% of the consulting things I'm in, if there's a problem in business, it will stem from some form of communication or lack of. So,
But, and again, the intentions can be great. When I
yes,
intend to have that conversation with you or whatever my intention is, right? I can have that, I can play it in my head, but when it comes out and I'm executing, right? Do I execute? Is that match my intention?
that's exactly my point. And that comes down to, like, I'm doing a study on body language. You can tell when people are uptight or pissed off, or, you don't need to say any words. So if you deliver it with anger or mistrust or whatever, people know. Well, you can
Of
try,
course.
but, so
Yep.
um,
Hard to hide that.
Jonathan Aaron says, I think wanted to be supported as being confused as micromanagement. I think that's a fair assessment. Lori?
Interesting. I think it's how it's received and how it's delivered has a lot to do with that. Those right, that understanding or that interpretation. If I'm saying to you, I'm here to support you, right? Or the person, or I'm saying to you, Steve, I really need your support. But then you think that means micromanaging. I think there's just clear expectations around what does that mean to be supportive? What do you need from me? And then what, right? Or you just assuming I need to be micromanaged.
Yeah, clarity in all of this is clarity of message, consistency. We talk about that all the time. It's one of the C words, consistency. For me, as a leader early on in my career, I was not consistent. People would have to knock on Shay's door and say, "Is it okay for me to go in there and talk to him?" And Shay, jump in for a second. Shay, jump in for a second. You like, that's not people that you got to be consistent. You're being you're happy. I know you go to work. We got lots of stuff today. Been a project on the huddle. That's Wednesday. Day. Tomorrow you mark the day. Friday, Butler, Hanson, people working with you love entrepreneurial insurance. But now, let's get down.
Ooh.
Hey, hello,
Hello.
Shay.
Shay, you shutting us down?
Nobody's. What are you
I
doing?
think did he lose the connection? Well,
What are you doing? Oh, unreal.
Please don't worry about me. I'm about to let my heart speak. My friends keep telling me to leave this. So let's get down to business. Let's get down to business. Give you one more night to get this.